Hello, thanks for joining me for another beer review. Today we've got another beer from my local brewery and Gadds, the Ramsgate Brewery, my hometown, and this is their Russian Imperial Stout. So this is a 2014 edition I'm reviewing 6 years later in 2020. So there's the crown. It's a 330ml bottle. Let me just get away from that so you can just about see it. There we go. So yeah, 10% ABV. So it's a bottle conditioned ale. It's classed as a Russian Imperial Stout from the UK. Deep, dark and mysterious. Gadds Imperial Russian Stout is brewed and bottled by Gadds, the Ramsgate Brewery on the Isles of Thanet, playground of the oligarchs. Probably not, but yeah, it sounds good. Ingredients then: malted and roasted barley, Kentish hops and brewer's yeast, made with British hops is this seal on that, which I've never seen before. Very small, that little round thing. Check out the artwork as well on the back or on the side of the bottle. Pretty cool. So yeah, 2014 edition. There's a bit more information there about the brewery, or about, you know, the whole deal with a lot of their beers. Best before 2035. So not much else to talk about. There's very little on Untapped. So let's crack open this bottle then. I've actually sent this out. There's a few reviews of this online. I don't know who did I send it out to. I might have sent one out to Peter. I can't remember, when he was living in Germany. I know I've definitely sent one out to James, Rampant Line Reviews. If I remember, I'll put their links down below. You can watch them after. I know James will do a lot more of an in-depth. So I just cleaned out hashtag proper glassware. So yeah, I was really worried that, let's go down the middle of this. I've had this beer a few times over the Christmas 2019, and then of course what's happened this year. I know they had like 2.5 pallets of this beer left, you know, certainly up till the end of last year at the brewery, and then of course lockdown happened, etc. And it was on their website and then it disappeared. I was like, oh my god, have they sold out? So this was ridiculously good price at the brewery. I think this 10% beer was £2.50 a bottle, which is like unbelievable. Anyway, let me just go into this beer while the head's still there. It produced a half a finger of a lightly tan coloured head. I say lightly, you know, but it's still got a rim around the top of the beer, and then it's clear in the middle, kind of deal. Into the light, it's a jet black beer. There's flies. It's obviously they're after the alcohol. You can't blame them, but they're not going to have this one. But yeah, it's a nice creamy looking head. You're getting the alcohol legs and all that kind of jazz on this one. So as you kind of would expect for the ABV. But yeah, there's no hues, or it's a proper stout, you know. And I'm getting aromas of alcohol on the aroma for sure. It's at room temperature, if you're wondering. It's not out the fridge. It's been in this warmish room in a day. It's during the summer review. I'm reviewing this in July. No, not July. It's not even July. August of 2020. So, but yeah, so it's pretty warm at the moment. So, waffle over. Let's get an aroma. Yeah, it's proper full on, deep dark fruits, figs, alcohol, roasted malts, sweet, almost like a molasses kind of sweet But or you know, that dark fruit, natural sweetness like figs, plums, dates, raisins, sultanas, all that kind of deal. But yeah, kind of mellowing in really nicely with them roasty toasty malts. But yeah, with a tinge of alcohol thrown in. Perfect session beer. So let's get into this. Cheers. Although I'm getting alcohol in the aroma, this is really mellowed out from the last time I had this beer at the back end of last year, which you think, oh, 6 months from like mid 2020 to late 2019 from when it was bottled 2014. How is 6 months making a difference? But it really seems to have. It's really mellowed and smoothed out even more. Wow. It's a beer that I was worried that I would never actually get to review. I have actually got another version of this, but I've got the Bretted version. They've done a Bretted Brettanomyces version of this, and I think that was brewed in 2012. I've still got that in the fridge downstairs. Obviously, if the Brett needs to be kept in the fridge, but with this one I decided just to keep it out. I actually purchased this one at Moonshine Billy's in my hometown. I saw it there. I paid probably double the price that it was at the brewery at the time. So I paid £5 for this bottle, but I thought I've got to get it just in case I don't see it again. It's kind of one of them deals. I was worried that, I don't know if they've sold out of this at the brewery. It's definitely not on their website. So I was like, oh, you know, I've sent them out to some friends. I've taken to bottle shares with, you know, with friends. When Paul was over from PA Brew News, we shared a bottle of this at the bottle share. We only had a little bit because there was about 6 or 7 of us or something like that. So yeah, so I wanted to get a review of this on my own, for the channel, of course. And what an amazingly smooth beer. It's very complex as well. It's just very kind of vinous. It's got a very kind of deep vinous, almost like a deep red wine quality to the beer. It reminds me in some ways of port wine. It's got that kind of feel to it. Really deep, very kind of thick. The mouthfeel as well. What's the mouthfeel and the body like? Yeah, it's the upper end of a medium, maybe bordering on full-bodied. It's not thin, Paul. But it's got bags of flavour. The residual coating of the palate is just, it's just there. It's proper hanging around. But there's no hint of the 10% on the palate. It's more on the aroma. Or maybe it was just when I cracked the bottle open, you had that initial hit of alcohol fumes, and it seems to have just mellowed a little bit. It's still there a little bit. I'm also getting a slight kind of peaty, smoky malt on this. Yeah, it's more of a peaty, I'd say, than smoke. It's definitely... Oh yeah, I'll give it a swirl and then the alcohol kicks up again. So that comment I just said a minute ago, just gone. Yeah, it's more of a peaty peaty-ish malt. Yeah, it's boozy on the aroma. So I'll give it a swirl and then we'll give it a taste. See if that maybe could affect the flavour. No, it's not there. It's just not there on the ABV, even after a swirl. But it is on the aroma. So that's interesting. It's an interesting one, that. So let's pour a little bit more. We'll go straight down the middle. It might give a head. It's quite impressive, the head it actually gave, considering it's a 10% beer. It just covered the top of the beer there. Nothing crazy. So yeah, be keeping that bottle. So what else to say about it? I mean, it is actually quite easy drinking for a 10% beer. It's got a lovely depth of flavour though. So at that point now, we'll get to the ratings then. It's difficult to say. I mean, I've actually, according to Untappd, I've had this twice before, so I'm quite intrigued. I know what I've got in my head. Let's see if it marries up. It's about right, really. I think it's actually mellowed even more. I think it's come together a little bit more as well. To the point where I'm going to give this bottle now, in August of 2020, 6 years after the bottle was produced, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. So yeah, for sure, it's a 4.5 on the Untappd scale, or if I'm doing it on when I check it in, I'm going to give it a 4.60. So just over the 9 out of 10 scale. A fantastic representation of a Russian Imperial Stout. And I know the brewery have done several versions of this. I think they've done a turkey. Did they do a turkey barrel aged beer of this as well? And the Brettanomyces beer I've got down in the fridge, I think was from 2012. So it's 8 years old. And that sold out a few years back. But yeah, this potentially is sold out, I'm not too sure. But it was in a local bottle shop still. So I just grabbed it, paid more. But I know it was a good beer. And it is. So yeah. Probably one of my favourite beers from my local brewery, that will not be around probably for much longer. But yeah, the dark beers are fantastic. The Oyster Stout, their core range beer, Dog Bolter, is wonderful. Available locally in Waitrose and all that sort of thing. So go away, fruit fly. But yeah. Let me know if you had it in the comments down below. It was online for a while, and yeah, but it doesn't seem to be now. So yeah, let me know, and check my playlist out as well from the Ramsgate Brewery. There's a few bits and bats there over the years. Some of my really early reviews when I wasn't so fat, and all that sort of carry on. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching. If you got this far. Give us a thumbs up on the way out, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.